Hello and welcome to the first ever College with Cade, where I read the textbook so that you do not have to. Today's subject is love. We're defining romantic relationships. We're going to talk about lots of different things. Some questions we're going to go over. What is romantic love? How does love differ from liking? And how does communicating shape relationships? So let's jump right into it. What is the difference between liking and loving? It's pretty obvious. I feel like most of us will understand this. So for those of you that don't, liking is an affection or like some warmth towards other people, or respect and admiration for other people. So if you like someone, you have a feeling of warmth and you respect them. That can be anyone. It can be a friend, it can be a girlfriend, it can be anyone, okay? You can like people. Loving is intimacy, closeness. It's caring, it's concern, it's attachment with a longing to presence. So when we're talking about relationships in love, you really want both of those. You don't want to just love and you don't want to just like. You might succeed those ways, but your most likely way to succeed is to like and love. To put that simply here, I'll do this little illustration for you. Like plus love equals success. Super simple, not very hard. This is the first little bit of this chapter in the textbook. Types of love, okay? So there's different types. There's not just one single way to love. There's different ways, different methods, things we do. All of which are good. There's not one that's wrong. There's not one that's right. But some of the more prevalent ones that are around are passionate love, and we'll get into the other in just a sec. Let's start with passionate love. Passionate love is that kind of giddy, touchy, like almost Twitter-pated form of love where you're always thinking, oh, my relationship is so great, we are so awesome, she's perfect or he's perfect, and we're never gonna fail because we are in love and happy, and you're just always with each other. You're really positive about your relationship, and that's what passionate relationships is. And of course, it's intimate. It's loving, sexual, okay? You're always wanting to touch each other, you're always wanting to be around each other, you always get a little bit, like I said, giddy. Children as young as 4 can experience this. Though they're like not mentally stable because they're 4-year-olds, don't let them into relationships. They can feel love and they can feel liking, so they can feel this like kind of romantic relationship. They just won't know how to respond to it, and that's why we wait till we're older to get into those kind of things. That being said, the textbook talks about how if your 4-year-old or your 6-year-old or your 7-year-old comes up to you about a crush on somebody, that crush is very valid. It's love. It's no different than the love that adults feel towards each other. But like I said, they won't be able to handle it as well, so they shouldn't jump into it. So be supportive and encouraging, but don't like say, hey, yeah, jump in, marry her. No, because they're young. That would be ridiculous. The problem with passionate love is that the longer you are in your relationship, the more likely it is to fade. So like, again, I could do a little illustration here. We do a chart just like this. You got amount of time you're with somebody, passionate levels, and it's going down. It's just sloped down, man. It's not good. Which brings us in to another type of love that is also very prevalent, and that is companionate love. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It might be companionate. I'm going to say companionate for now. Companionate love is associated with like intense liking and emotional investment with intertwined lives. So it's not so much about being with each other and everything being perfect, so much as it is about, really enjoying someone, emotionally investing yourself in them, and wanting to be around them, supporting them. And this is what forms kind of after the passionate relationships oftentimes. Sometimes it could come first. It's more prevalent in long-term relationships. As the passion might go out, you might find these more solid relationships. For example, when I think of this, I think of like old people who are together, like they've been together like 50 years or something, and they're married, and you see them at the mall, and they're sitting on the bench holding hands, and you're like, wow, like I just want to be them. I hear that all the time. Yeah, that's companionate love, guys. Strive for that. Go for it. You can have passionate love sometimes and have companionate love. That's great. Let's do it. But there's other types of love, and this is where it gets a little bit more complex, but also pretty interesting here. So this is from a sociologist named John Allen Lee. Back in the day, I want to say it was like in the 70s or something. It says 1973. So in the 70s, came up with these 6 types, and again, none of these are right, none of these are wrong. They all appeal to different people. It's the game of love. Is it a game? Let's talk about that a little more. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce these correctly, actually. I think I do. I'm going to start with storge, maybe storge. Storge. We're going to go storge. That is friendly lovers. It's a stable relationship, and it's very predictable. And that's one type. There's also agape, which is forgiving lovers. They're the kind that are patient, they're selfless, They're giving and they are unconditional no matter what. They'll forgive. Agape, forgive. Mania, which is obsessive lovers. Those are intense, extreme, and like all-consuming. So just maybe like the clingy girlfriend, which isn't bad. Again, that can be good. Depends on who you are and what you like. Then there's pragma, which is the practical lovers. They're logical and rational. They have a very thoughtful approach to things, step by step. They do things that only make sense. Then there's ludus, which is the game-playing lovers, which I mentioned before. Is it a game? To these people, yes it is. If you are ludus. Game-playing lovers, they are uncommitted, they're all about fun, and they treat love like a game. Simple as that. Then there's eros, which is romantic lovers, or sentimental. They're the sentimental, romantic, idealistic, committed, kind of like passionate in a way. It's the ideal relationship. I really hope you can't hear those dogs in the background because they won't stop barking. But I have no control over that, so I'm gonna keep going. So, what is love?
What is love?
Yes, I just thought of that song. If you didn't think of that song, you need to go listen to it. Anyways, there's some key elements here to maybe not what is love, but so much more what is a romantic relationship. And first off, it starts with perception. If you and another person both agree that, hey, we are in a relationship, then bam, you're in a relationship. It is as easy as that. But love also is diverse. So you can have this perception of a relationship with people that are older than you, younger than you, same gender, opposite gender. It's diverse. It knows no age, gender, height, etc. Nothing like that. And it's also a choice, which is our third thing. So there's perception, diversity, and choice. We have to choose to be in a romantic relationship. As much as we would like to think that love just kind of happens, it does at some point or another. You do take that step and say, hey, yes, we are now boyfriend and girlfriend, or hey, we are just friends. You're always choosing to some degree what you are going to do with your relationship. And that's, again, where perception comes into play. So number 4, we've got commitment. And I think this goes without saying, when you're in a relationship, you have to commit to that person. You have to spend time with them. You need to, you need to care for them. And that's not really hard in most relationships because you love them, you like them, you want to be with them. So it goes to stand that you can do that, no problem. You can commit. Interesting fact though, both men and women support commitment. However, with over 50 years of research done by, I think it was Rubin, Peplau, and Hill, those are 3 different people, since 1981, have shown that men are more likely to commit or want to commit. So that's an interesting fact. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. It's interesting, huh? Tensions. Tensions are part of the relationships, which, when you're in a relationship, you're gonna experience what we call turbulence, or what some call turbulence, and that's like, think of an airplane. Your relationship is an airplane, you're all flying around and you hit some turbulence, you're kind of shaky and just yeah, that's turbulence. It's gonna happen. Just expect it and embrace it. When things come up in your relationship that are bad, like that's just how it's gonna be. There's a word for this that causes turbulence. It's called dialectics, and there's lots of different things lots of different dialectics out there. One of them is the difference between openness and closedness. And that is that sometimes you gotta be really open with your partner. Other times you might need to be a little more closed. And it differs from person to person, and from time to time that can change. And so it can cause problems in our relationships, especially when maybe I am always really open, but one day I just, I feel a little more closed. Then my partner comes up and is like, yo, what's up? You're not normally like this. Something's wrong. I did something wrong. I'm bad. Or, this turbulence is gonna come. And that's where communication comes in. That's our last one, is communication. And that is used to create and maintain relationships. It's what gets us into the relationship in the first place. And that is why it's so important that we learn how to communicate. We use interpersonal communication to progress all our relationships and become better. That is what we are going to talk about next time. It's more about how we can use ourselves and the knowledge we have about how humans work, about how we work, and about how we work with others to be able to form a more stable relationship. I think that's all I have. So, thank you for watching this. If you made it all through, I hope it helps you. I'm trying to get this to the point that maybe some of my classmates out there can watch this so that they can learn without having to read the textbook, because reading the textbook is boring. Why read it when you can just watch it? Everything that I have gone through right here is straight from the first couple pages of the chapter from this book. Reflect and relate, okay? This is what I'm learning from. This is what I'm in. It's from my Interpersonal Communication Class at Dixie State University. If you don't have the textbook, that's fine. Watch this. It'll be great. If you would like to receive more of these as they come out, and I'm trying so hard to get them out every day, who knows if they actually will. I've never done this before. We will see. Subscribe. When it's out, it'll be sent to you. You can watch it and go get an A on your test. Bam. If you watch this and you go get an F on your test, please let me know so I'm not telling people wrong things, so that I can make them pass and not fail, because that is the eventual goal for each of us. Alright, so that's it. This has been the first episode of College with Cade. I read the textbooks so that you don't have to. Peace out.